that. So it's, I mean, he's a good bowler and all, but can take a couple of games to get your radar back going.
Got Inglis a bit cramped up.
The modern player is just fearless, aren't they? I've never thought in my wildest dreams, this fast bowl's coming to bowl, I might reverse ramp him first ball. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's nearly got middle stump of his own.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to unsettle. And again, late cut straight to the man. In the gully again. Inglis yet to score off 4 balls. 2 to come in the over, 5 from it. Full of ball, and that's some good fielding. Axar manages to cut it off. I think they got through for a single though. Well run. Marsh was on his bike straight away. Inglis is off the mark.
It'll be a relief to get off the mark, but at the same time, you got a wide full toss. You would have wanted to put that away.
Yeah, he'd love to have that again. It was just almost just coming into that slot, wasn't it? He should have really done something with it. Low full toss, swinging in. Mitch Marsh just pulls out of the shot halfway through it on the last delivery, and it'll be another dot. It's always an interesting one too. At what point does it become too slow that the batter's getting going? We saw India the other night. Like they needed to get more balls into their opener. I think he ended up facing 30-something balls out of the first, 104 or something before he got out. Like it's one of those pieces. I've heard Mark Waugh talk about it during the Big Bash and stuff about retiring batsmen or getting them to tread on their stumps, sacrifice themselves, whatever they might need to do. As we see Arshdeep coming into Inglis. Well down the leg side, a half-hearted appeal. That'll go around the corner for a leg bite.
The issue with doing that the other night was that the batters were getting out around him anyway, so it wasn't really anyone who was able to hang around long enough to do it. And by the time they were 5 or 6 down and Rana was in, didn't really have that option up the sleeve. But yeah, it's a bit of a no-no when you got one guy who's going off and you can't get him on strike. The number one job of a new batter is to get the set batsman on strike, especially if he's been carved all around the field. Yeah, probably cost India 20 to 30 runs last week easily doing that. But the other day, but
which the way Australia finished might have been enough to make it a contest.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Arshdeep to Marsh. Again, he just can't quite get his line right. Marsh is happy to paddle that off his hip. He'll take a single. Just looks like he's just not quite got the line right, and he's still swinging it that way too, which is sort of towards the legs of these two batters.
It looked like so in the last over, it looked like he was trying to swing the ball away from the right-hander, and I think he's tried that the first 2 balls of this over, but they just haven't swung as much, so it's kind of ended up staying on their hip. Same again, just didn't swing, stayed on the hip, but this time he's got
somehow
away
got another
with
wicket. Marsh gone. Which Marsh departs for 6.
I think it was Inglis.
Inglis it was too. Because that's right. Marsh got the single last ball. So
yeah,
Inglis for a sluggish 1 off 6 departs, and Australia 2 for 14 off 2.3. Definitely not the start. Nowhere near the 8s we were talking about. They're scoring at not even a run a ball at the moment.
He'll walk off thinking he's a bit unlucky. He's got a ball on his hip that probably should be put it, at least for 4 or 6, and he's put it straight down to one bloke who's on the fence's throat. Yeah, he's got to be walking up pretty disappointed, but put Australia in a bit of a hole here at 2 for not many, and it's up to these two to probably, try and continue attacking in a power play, but can't really lose another wicket here because losing 3 wickets in the power play statistically makes it really difficult to win a game of cricket in a T20 match. So difficult spot here. It'd be interesting to see how Tim David goes in the power play.
Yeah, interesting to see how he goes about it, whether he tries to sort of build the innings or just play his natural game from the get-go.
Well, hopefully he doesn't just chip one back to the bowl like he did the other night. That was soft.
Yeah, that was very disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think the stat at the moment, in the last 4 years, it's around 20% of games that teams win if they lose 3 wickets or more in the power play.
Yeah.
So. Singh into David. Does he get going here? Puts it right on his off stump and he just drives that nicely. Just wide of the mid-off fielder and gets 4 runs.
It's a good start. It's pretty much what you want. Coming in nice and full, just off stump, and he's able to drive through the line of the ball through the offside. Didn't quite middle it, but he's a big, strong guy, so picks the gap and races away.
So that one came back in a little to the right-hander as made it nice and easy for him. Middled it. It's good when you can see one that well that early. See what comes next. Arshdeep 2 for 11 from 1.4. Comes into David again. Onto the legs, and David just prods a little misfield for the man at short square leg, but not enough to create a single. Dot ball. 2 for 18 off 2.5. Well, the Women's World Cup final tonight as well. Pricey, what are you looking at there? What are you liking? The Laura Woolvart story is pretty impressive at the moment. She's in some red hot form.
Yeah, I mean you'd be hard pressed to knock over India at home, but in the form that a couple of those South African batters are in,
Sorry, mate. Just
if they got to play well. So no, I mean India would likely be favourites for that in my eyes. But
yeah, I think so. I think you basically need Laura Woolvart to go big again. We've seen that from South Africa. India, though, they've got so many players, right? Like we obviously saw Jemima Rodriguez, who got dropped earlier in the tournament, come back in and start in that game against Australia. You have a look then, you've got Smriti Mandana, Harmanpreet Kaur, just the 3 of those alone. It's kind of where India and Australia are, that level above the rest of the teams, especially the South Africas, the New Zealands, those sorts of things. They've got, 4, 5, 6 big names in their 11.
Yeah, absolutely. Which makes a huge difference on come big games because you know that one of those are going to stand up and get a big one and help you win the match.
Certainly a dot ball to start the 4th from Bumrah. Coming into Marsh, just really getting plenty of swing. It was very full though. Mitch Marsh met it almost at top of stump height. And didn't come a long way down the pitch. Not a full crowd in Hobart. About 60% by the look of it.
Oh.
The French cut wasn't pretty, but it'll count for a run. There's Mitch Marsh onto 7. David now on strike. I don't know how that didn't find either one of his legs and back onto the stumps or the stumps itself. He cut it through his own legs.
Yeah, it's lucky when he first played it. you get that inside edge. That's the first thought is you're going to chop it back on your stumps, but yeah, he's fortunate to get away with that one.
That's 2 deliveries in a row. David did the same at the end of the last over, just chopped it onto his own toe. And Tim David's had an absolute air swing at that, which is probably a good result. Horizontal bat and just missed everything. A little more bounce than he expected from Bumrah. Two for 19 off 3.3. Just over a runner ball at this point. Left a nice gap for him on the offside, trying to lure the cut and maybe get a thick edge going to those fielders in the gully.
So,
That's exactly where he goes. He goes aerial. 2 bounces for 4, though. They sent him the invitation and he took it with both hands.
yeah, again, that was nice and full outside off stump. Not as much swing on that one. That didn't really come back in. Looked like he tried to straighten the touch, but yeah, Tim David's good enough to crack that over the offside field for an easy boundary.
It just came sort of off the seam as it hit the deck and got the wobbles. It's a nice shot, though. Bumrah got in response. Tries to do this one much more gently and caress it through, but just caresses it straight to the fielder this time, David. Off the slower ball. Score remains 2 for 23. Tim David 8, Mitch Marsh 6. David on strike for the last ball of the 4th over. Fuller delivery. Let's take on the fielder. Throw was well off. Easy single. David moves to 9. Australia moved to 24. They're a runner ball from the first 4 overs. Just a couple of deliveries you feel they probably should have done a bit more with, and 2 of them are the ones that have led to wickets.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Short and wide, kind of ball to head, and then a drag down leg side to Inglis, and then 2 down. Yeah, just those 2 balls there. There's been a couple of full tosses that have been put away as well from the Aussies. So it's this game could have been a lot different if they're able to put away a couple of those loose balls, and here we are, 2 for 24 off 4.
As they did the other night, they in the power play go to Chakravarthi, the number 1 spinner in the T20 international rankings by, well, it's pretty much daylight second at the moment. He's pretty economical. I reckon Tim David will try and get after him early. Dars just slaps it through cover point, and that'll race away into the Australian dugout for 4 runs. A little looser than we'd expect from Chakravarthi first ball, and Tim David pounced. Just gave him enough width. Tim David created a bit of extra by stepping away.
It wasn't that bad of a ball. It was only just outside off stump, but yeah, like you said, he's just backed away a little bit to give him some room and slashed it through that offside.
Let's see what he can do here. Can Chakravarthi get the response, or does Tim David double down? So plenty of different deliveries. Tosses this one up, and Tim David tosses it back over the fence. 6 runs, easy as you like. He just made that look casual, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Again, looked like he gave himself a touch of room, batting maybe on or just outside leg. It's tossed up a little bit more than the first one, and David didn't need a second invitation. Just step forward, step hit, and over long off for 6 more.
It's interesting to see him. He's getting really deep in that crease and happy to back away on the leg side to give himself space against Chakravarthi.
Yeah, I guess he's just backing himself. He's not going to spin it past him, and then he can use his hands to play it through the offside.
Speaking of that, next ball just pushes it down into the mid-off region. Nice little easy single. Happy to turn the strike over with not much room to work this time. Moves on to 20. That sort of crept up on us with that 4 and the 6. So Australia now 2 for 35. Pushing up towards that 8 and over here. That's the thing, isn't it? It doesn't take long. One good over, and you can all of a sudden get well and truly back on top of these run rates.
Yeah, well, that's it. Mitch Marsh did the same thing the other night to Yadav, took him for 20 or something like that, and turned the momentum pretty quick.
Dot ball to Marsh, just pushes it back down to almost the same region. He just had a little more on it, so they couldn't go after the single. Onto the legs there, Marsh just cramped for room, pushes it round into the mid-wicket, short mid-wicket region, and that'll be another dot to finish the over. The end of the 5th over. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. There's another ball to come there, and that one was just outside off and left by Marsh. That's the end of the over. Mitch Marsh, 7 off 9 balls. Tim David, 20 off 10. Australia, 2 for 35 at the end of the 5th. One more over left in the power play. They push on with Bumrah here. What are your thoughts?
No, I think there'll be a change. To who, I don't know, but I think they'd want to save a couple for Bumrah. One middle maybe, and one at the death, or both at the death. Although the Fox graphics have got him coming up as bowling, so
Yeah,
we'll
he
see
is.
how we
He's
go.
coming in. It's interesting. They did the same thing the other night. I just thought it was because they needed the wickets, to be honest, which I understood. But
Yeah, right.
seems interesting to push through with a third now, but obviously just trying to keep the pressure on, maybe get that third wicket in the power play. Bumrah into Tim David. He has a chop at that, but doesn't get much, just finds the bottom edge. Dot ball. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because that means they've only got one over if they don't use any more of Bumrah's in the death, and what, 2 of Arshdeep's. So they're relying on some of their spinners potentially in the late overs.
Yeah, no, playing their cards early, which, like you said, I mean, they get the third wicket in this over. It's a
masterstroke.
Big move in the match.
Bumrah in, carved away, misfield. Did that carry?
Is that a drop?
The way the fielder reacted, I don't think so. Bumrah questioning it. Let's have a look. It's Washington Sundar out there.
He might have bounced it. I'm not sure. It's hard to
tell.
No,
it's gone straight through his hands. That was at waist height. That's an absolute dolly. Dear, oh dear. He didn't even get close to it. It went through his wrists, not his hands. That could be costly. David gets a single. Marsh back on strike.
Oh, no.
Mitch Marsh has just popped it down the ground, but he's managed to somehow clear the fielders. Nervy times for the Aussies. Another single. Marsh moves on to 8. Australia to 37. I'll get the balls caught up on the scoreboard. There we go. That's a bit more accurate. Australia need to get some runs off these last 3 balls of the power play. Tim David's usual strike rate in the power play, 208, they think. He's not far off that realistically, but he's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting so far for the Aussies. And here he goes again, just carves it out over the offside. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4 runs. It's almost like I meant that. It's nice when it works out.
You didn't ask for much. Just score more runs and don't get out.
Oh, I just meant the 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 4 runs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
If you are just joining us, let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to know where you're watching, where you're joining us from. Little swat from above his eye line there for David. He'll be fielded in the deep. I'll just get the 1. He thought about coming back. I'm over this Fox Ray thing, whatever it is, the unnecessary graphics. Marsh prods this down the ground on the leg
I
side.
found that one more interesting than the batting ones, but yeah, there you go.
I'm just having a little bit of an issue with the stream at the moment. I'm not sure what's happening. That'll be the end of the power play by my maths. Australia 2 for 43.
A pass mark from both teams there, really, isn't it? Like, I don't think either team would be super, like, they would have thought they could have done more, but at the same time, both teams would be fairly happy with where they're at. Last couple of overs in the power play made a bit of a difference to Australia's total and got a little bit of momentum going into the
Hopefully that's cleared it up a little. Something going
yeah.
on with the internet feed altogether. I'm not sure what's happening.
Up. And 6.
Just going to please bear with us. I just killed our audio.
Tim David just put one on the roof. And David's just punched run through the offside for a single. It has, yeah. In the last sort of 2 to 3 overs, it's been India bowling the ball anywhere and Tim David hitting it to the boundary. It's uh, it's been a bit of a turnaround the last few overs. All of a sudden, they're going at nines and projected to score at that 180 mark. So it's amazing what a few good overs can do in a T20 game. You can kind of see why. I mean, you can see why they're keen to get David up the order. I mean, there is the obvious theory to have guys in set roles and maximise certain areas of the game. But when you've got someone with so much power and ability to score the way that David does, it also makes sense to give him as many balls as possible, doesn't it? Mm. Yeah, well, that was Marsh's sort of 14th ball into the ninth over, so he's been starved of a strike watching Timmy David slay him from the other end. So he thought he'd have a crack, and unfortunately, he's mishit it and got caught off. Yeah, I mean, Tim David was having a lot of fun. You don't want to miss out, do you? But unfortunately, he's mishit it, and he's now sitting down, giving Mitch Allen a crack. Yeah, they won't hold back. Like Mitch Allen loves trying to clear the fence, and we've seen Tim David so far. So hopefully, for Australia's sake, they can get going. Well, he'll be going back to the pavilion. That's disappointing for him. Hey, would have pumped himself up for a home game, and then to get knocked over first rock. Yeah, with plenty of time up his sleeve too. Probably didn't really expect, or doesn't, batting six in a T20. You don't really want to be in this early, but gives him the time to work his way into an innings and hopefully build another partnership here with David. Have you ever caught a hat trick before? big thick inside edge onto the leg side. Takes a single. Back. It's pretty good touch from Stoinis. And Axar is pretty quick through the air, slides onto the bat, so it's probably a good bowler to be able to use that kind of shot too with the pace on the ball, and he's executed that pretty well. Oh. Yeah, well, Keeper did well to even get close to that. He read that pretty well, and yeah, Stoin gets another couple. No, he's never there. Stuck a little bit more there and the ball from their run. I think both teams to be fairly happy with where they're at. I mean, 84 off 10 bad point of view, probably 1 wicket more than what they would like, and I think India would be fairly happy with 4 wickets, knowing that if they can jag another couple of wickets in the next 2 or 3 overs, especially with Tim David, they can this point to under that 170 mark. He's been into the pitch, and a lot of us all from, and you see the ball be tossed up a bit, didn't take him much, dance down the pitch and try to take him down. Into the crowd it goes. Yeah, no, he was quick with his feet, quick with his hands. Away it went. There's another one, sort of fast into the pitch. David can't get it away. I'd be surprised if he tosses another one up after David taking him down. I think he'll just keep spearing him into the pitch, trying to get David off strike. There's another one. Outside off stump. He's had a slash at it but missed. Stop ball. Yeah, they would throw through the rope. So 50, cool. Base swing. That's all you need to know. That's been David on 7 runs, 9 board. Yeah, but I only had 4, so yeah, David's probably right while he's been batting. Probably made a bit in the score as opposed to India's match the other night. Mm. Yeah, again, they've gone full again, which it's not ideal to David. He's just been able to step and put his arms through the offside. It's a bit of a class for the over. And okay. Mm. And the rest, if he gets there, yeah, good running. Dabbed into the leg side, come back for a quick 2. Oh, that's 6. Picked up the length quick, dropped back, and yeah, not going to miss out too many times there. Bit of a back of the length, bit of a nothing ball, really. Yeah, for sure. I think with like 1 over, a few overs left to spin, couple left of this.
He's getting caught on the rope. Oh, what's happened? We've got your echo back again. Technology's good when it works. Exactly right. Let's just see how this trickles along for now. Dot to finish from Varun, and 5 overs to go till the innings break, and the Aussies 5 for 130. Not impossible to get to 200 from here, Pricey. But it'd be a show. Abhishek Sharma. Interesting choice. Only 6 T20 international wickets so far in 27 matches. Top ball to start. Stoinis gets after the next one, but he picks out the fielder in the outfield. So they get a single. Sharma looks all right the first couple of balls. Well, that's exactly how we go. We put him out of the stadium. Not quite. Out over the fence. Yeah, beat the fielder. The fielder was trying to get back there. Well, he'd absolutely got all of that when he first hit it, but just couldn't quite reel it in. But it's a maximum nonetheless. It's a bit of momentum that the Aussies need. His first boundary. Moves on to 8 from 5 balls. Australia 5 for 137 with 27 legal deliveries to come. Tighter line on the next one. He just prods it down through mid-off. And we'll take the single. Just looking at this replay, and yeah, he probably should have done a better effort of that. Floats on wide, and Stoyan decides to sweep it across the line, but again, wants to like Varma this time out in the deep. So we'll just get one for it. One ball to come. What does Sharma have to close this out? Floats it out wide, just chips it back over the bowler. That's going to beat the fielder diving, is it? No, he's dived. He's got a hand to it, and he's parried it for 4 anyway. I mean, it wasn't exactly a brilliant over of bowling, but it wasn't horrible, and he could feel hard done by that he didn't, have at least a much more economical over, I think, there with a couple of fielding mishaps on the rope. You want 1 for 4 off and over instead of none for 13. Or 1 for 5, even if you want to be generous. Like, I'll go back to Dubé. Wide ball slashed. That's a beautiful shot. Gave him too much width. A little short as well. Stoinis gets his 4th 4 of the innings. And you're exactly right. Looking at these numbers, have Arshdeep bowling 18 and 20 and Bumrah bowling 19. I think that's why they had to use Abhishek Sharma. They just hadn't done their maths right on bowling the bowlers out. And they go down the ground, picks out Tilak Varma. They need to find the rope at least once, if not twice more in this over. I thought short. Gets a full one. Just paddles it off the legs though. Out to the fielder in the deep again, just a single. Goes for it again. Stoinis chips it over the ring, but again, Varma's out there just cleaning up. That brings up the 150 for Australia. Stoinis up to 43. Seems to really like that wide Yorker, as you say, just to try and neutralise, but if you're not hitting it, I think so he does here for the penultimate ball, the over to short. Drops a little bit shorter, and he's absolutely hammered that through mid-wicket for 4. Nine and over from here would get them to just past 180. 9 and over from here, yeah. Last ball of the over. Short drives it straight. There's a fielder down there. They'll go back for 2. Throw makes it easy for them. Short moves on to 20 from 10 deliveries. Stoinis 43 from his 28. And Australia 5 for 156 with 3 overs to come. So they actually only need 8 and over to hit 180. 10 and over 186 from here. It's probably in that realm of where they want to land. Well, I have the 2 overs of power play at the end too, I'd assume. I don't think they've used those yet, so. Well, they had 2 overs of power play the other night. I figured that's something new that's come back into international cricket. Last night, the end of the 19th, unless it was just because they were behind. It might be because they're behind on over rate, actually. The umpire signal power play. I'm not sure. It very much threw me off, so I thought there must have been something there. Arshdeep's back and he gets a wicket. Rinku Singh coming in, takes a diving catch. Stoinis just plugged it straight down the ground to him off what at first glance looked like it was probably a full toss. Umpire's just having a look at something here. I think I just checked that that he was taken cleanly. It was diving forward. See the players just constantly questioning themselves now. Oh, he hasn't caught it. That's hit the grass. His hands are outside the ball, not even under, and it's not even one of those ones. Was it Stark or Hazelwood who had the one that it looked like he got his fingers under it, and then they said he used the ground to take it? His fingers are everywhere. His fingers look like crab legs. Yeah, that will be not out. Just a matter of whether or not they ran a single. You would hope so. No, it was a dot ball. Just trying to work out. That looks like short on strike. Yeah, single run, so pop ball around the corner. Boomer traps it, so single each to start the over. Australia 5 for 158. 16 deliveries to come. Arshdeep 2 for 13 so far from 2.2. Thought he had 3. Rinku Singh still asking questions. Into Stoinis, that's full. Just carves that nicely through point for 4 runs. Easy as you like, Marcus Stoinis. Gets it within a single blow of 50. As soon as he saw it was full and wide, he knew he didn't have to do too much with it. Just run it off the face, and he did it perfectly. It's just gone through everything. Yeah, 4th stump line in the end, not far away at all. It's as good a dot ball as you'll see without getting something for it. Beat him all ends up here. Yeah, as you say, it tailed away nicely. 2 balls to come in this over. And he goes in the air this time. Beats the diving fielder. That'll be 4 runs. That'll be 50 for Stoinis. Well played knock. He's got that from 32 balls. Come in and played a nice second fiddle, and he's got the job now of steering the team home. Just looking at the numbers, a point that talks to how little he actually comes in and gets opportunity to face much in the way. High score of 78 in T20 internationals from 80 games. Oh, ramp shot over the top. One bounce, 4 runs. That's a big over for Australia. 13 from it. Stoinis moves to 56. Australia up to 5 for 170 with 2 overs to come. And when you think there was a dot ball in amongst those 3 boundaries that was millimetres away from his knocking his off peg out of the ground. Game of margins, very small margins. Yeah, Women's World Cup final has been delayed by rain. As Jasper Bumrah gets ready to run in, just aborts his runner. Your 4th and 5th T20 internationals will be Thursday and Saturday night from the Gold Coast and Brisbane. So a little bit of a break after this game. That was close, direct hit with the run out. If his bat's down, he's home. He's well home. He's good fielding. He only had just over 1 stump to aim at from where he was. Matt Short doing the right thing, wants to get the man who's seeing them well on strike. Stoinis has a agricultural swat at that, but it'll just be a single down to the man in the outfield. I think after that last over, it's a just get through the Bumrah over and then try and target Arshdeep again. Pops that one a little leg side. They're going to push hard here for 2. Short didn't get as much of it, and they'll do well easily back for 2 runs. Another good piece of fielding, though, from the edge of the circle. Stoinis well home. Exactly right. A couple of 2s in and over, and quickly that 8 comes about as well. 4th ball, the over, Bumrah in. Full. Short just dead bats it again onto that leg side. Bumrah will have to do the fielding himself, but just the single this time. Short moves up to 25. Australia moved to 175. 8 legal deliveries to come. They could somehow push into the high 180s. It's a pretty good recovery from where they were mid-innings. Second time in as many overs. So remembering they were 4 for 84 after 10 overs. So 1 for 100 off the second 10's not a bad number if that's where they can end up. That's even closer than the last one. That's tailing in. Scrambled the seam and Firm drive down to long off. Single off the last ball of the over. That's probably a good result to get Stoinis on strike against Arshdeep for the final over. Stoinis to 58. That is from Bumrah. Yeah, goes for 6 off his last over. Was he finished with none? No wickets, but no wickets, 4 overs, 26 runs. Surprisingly, only 8 dot balls from that, but that just tells you how economically he is in just giving away singles and not letting threes and fours come off his bowling, or sixes for that matter. Just 3 boundaries off his 4 overs. Here is Arshdeep into Stoinis. It's a low full toss. He whips it onto the leg side. Into the gap. It'll be cut off. Stoinis is pushing hard for 2. The throw didn't really put any pressure on. I mean, Arshdeep was out in front of the stumps, which probably wasn't where you want to be. What are they saying? That 200's the pass mark? Well, they'll need to bat like they started to in Monaco, not like they did at the MCG. There it is again, 59%. I'd take $2.45 about Australia. Especially when Marcus Stoinis is carving 4s through cover point. He's not going to die wondering here. 182. 4 balls to come. In his last 4 deliveries, you can expect Marcus Stoinis to hit out or get out. This talks about the level of the players out here. This is the top 2 T20 sides in the world, right? Arshdeep into Stoinis again. And I said he'll hit out or get out. I think he's going to be caught on the rope here. Inside the rope, but Rinku this time, not a question over it. Stoinis departs for 64. Australia 6 for 182. How do you reckon the nerves were for Rinku as he thought about that as it was coming in? Like he didn't have long to think about it, I reckon. Xavier Bartlett comes to the crease. An okay job 2 nights ago. Tries to push that one out to the offside, and they do scurry through for a single. He gets off the mark. Does the right thing, gets the established batter on strike. Two balls to come. What are we going to see here? He's going to try and paddle it into his own chest, and they'll take a single. I'll go option C. Dear. I am looking forward to what Xavier Bartlett has to deliver for the last ball, though, because I feel like he's either going to throw his shoulder out or He's got 16 runs in T20 International, Xavier Bartlett, with a high score of 9. The problem is you can't really garner too much from guys who've only played less than 20 games. In T20s with the bat, strikes at 123, averages 17. He's driven that down the ground. They'll come back for 2. Oh, a little fumble. Well, they come back for a 3rd, surely. No. They wanted to protect the red ink. That extra run could have counted, Pricey. You never know, indeed. So Xavier Bartlett will finish on 3 not out. That'll boost his average up to 4.5. Matthew Short, 26 not out. Australia at the end of their 20 overs, 186. I don't know that I agree with the 59 odd percent, which is probably 60% now, but I would have India slight favourites. I feel like after what we've watched there that they're probably left 5 to 10 runs short of a pass score, just with a couple of batters getting out just as they got set. Certainly will. Interestingly, so the last time there was a T20 here was Pakistan and Australia last year, and Australia chased down 117. So we look back through a couple of others, and then the one before that, Australia chased down the West Indies set 202. Australia chased down 200. Sorry, Australia set 213 and defended at West Indies all out for 202. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the couple of games that were played here last year, and then we're going back to the World Cup in 2022. So that's probably a fairly good indicator. I would have thought that maybe 200-ish is maybe the Palmer score here. Interestingly enough, that Australia-West Indies game, just sort of pulling it apart, 7 for 213, played 8 for 202. So wickets falling didn't really, similar to tonight, didn't really dispel a decent total. And interestingly enough, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Aussies, no, 5 of the Aussies. So Sean Abbott, Tim David, Marcus Stoinis, Mitchell Marsh and Josh Inglis all in from that game. But as I said, 6 for 186. We'll run through the scorecard and then we'll take a little bit of a break while we wait. So the first wicket to fall was Travis Head in the first over. He fell for 6. Next to go, Josh Inglis was caught for 1. Australia 2 for 14 at that point. Then a partnership ensued between David and Marsh before Mitch Marsh. He didn't contribute a lot to the partnership. He only got 11 and it was 3 for 73. Next ball, Mitch Owen fell 4 for 73. That brought Stoinis to the crease. He and Tim David then put on a 45-run partnership before David fell for 74 off 38 balls, 8 fours, 5 sixes, and then Stoinis was the last wicket to fall, as you would have just seen or heard. 64 caught by Rinku Singh off the bowling of Arshdeep Singh, and then Matt Short 26 not out, Xavier Bartlett 3 not out, 6 for 186 from the Aussies. Abbott, Ellis, Kuhnemann did not bat, and then the bowlers for India. Arshdeep Singh 3 for 35. Jasprit Bumrah none for 26 from his 4 overs, nice and economical. Chakravarti 2 for 33 from 4 overs. Axar Patel none for 35. Dubé 1 for 43, a little bit expensive, as was Abhishek Sharma, none for 13 from his 1 over. So I'll have a look. I think we've both got India as slight favourites from here, Nathan, but with a bowling lineup that Australia's got even without Hazelwood, led by the likes of Abbott, Ellis, and Bartlett, throw in Stoinis, and then you've got Kuhnemann and some part-time from a couple of others. This looks like a pretty interesting contest, and I think it's there for the taking by either side at the moment. Well, we'll be back with you in probably about 10 or so minutes with the second innings. We'll come back on just before the innings gets underway, but until then, we enjoy your little break, and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back. We are back for I was going to say the second half, the second innings of Australia and India, the third T20 International. As we've said on a couple of the other coverages, we'll be looking to stream the other games where we can. Definitely the fourth T20, the fifth T20, probably not, just due to some other clashes with scheduling. But in the meantime, this series well and truly alive. So looking forward to seeing what comes of it over the coming 20 overs. Australia leading the series 1-0. Target for India is 187. We'll get the scoreboard updated in a moment. Just having a bit of trouble getting it across. So far away from it. Looks like Bartlett to open the bowling in the absence of Hazelwood. A little bit more falling on his shoulders tonight, Nathan. Well, first ball, very wide. He's going to sneak it inside the wide line, though, which I think he did, to be fair, not by much. It's a no ball. Not the start. Here he comes. Take two. Big swing this time from Abhishek and no connection. So a dot this time. Really seems like the recipe with Abhishek Sharma is just to try and get those balls just tailing across him. He really likes to go after them, but seems to be troubled by them. Has absolutely smoked that. That is 6 runs. Couple of dot balls to get him going. India moved to none for 7. Now he just plays on out on the leg side, take an easy single. Good start for India. Now Shubman Gill facing his first ball. Expect the bowlers probably to be a little straighter to him, Pricey. He's over. Single to finish it. Good over from Bartlett. 4 off the over. It's tidy. India will be happy enough though. 10 and over going so far. In front of the game. Ellis full of ball wide. Sharma driving, just a single out to the man on the ring. I think Ellis will be happy to give up the single to Abhishek here. He'd like to have a look at using his pace variations and his cutters and Yorkers against Gill, nice and straight. That won't quite be it. Leg side wide. Almost looked like his effort ball though, which is interesting. It's the delivery though, isn't it? Hitting the top of middle more than likely, but as you say, Gilda's played really well. This is interesting because I'm looking at the Crick Info one, which has India at 51%. So it's all about what data you choose to use, right? That'll do it. That'll help. Nathan Ellis gets Abhishek Sharma caught. He skies one. Inglis comes around and dutifully takes it. Australia get the breakthrough. Especially when you're watching for the 115 to 120 slower ball as well. Like that's kind of, I would imagine, how you're facing Nathan Ellis, right? You're expecting the slower ball and then just trying to react to the quicker ball, which would normally come at 135. He's done well there. That's a good breakthrough for Australia, and they've now got India 1 for 33 off 3.3. In comes the skipper, Sky. That was just short and dug into the deck. And of course, we talked about Mitch Owen playing at home. Of course, Ellis is spent a lot of his T20 time down there with the Hurricanes as well, hasn't he? 12 years. That's nearly naturalised, mate, I think. By the way, Jake Weatherall talks about it. He spent 6 months of the year there, and you'd think he was naturalised at the moment. So it's a wonderful part of the world, to be fair. I enjoyed my time the couple of times I've been down there. As Suya Kumar gets one. It was actually quite funny. At the end of this over, I'll tell a bit of a story about chatting to a couple of West Indians during the World Cup down there. As Gill gets one away. Another one to the total, 1 for 35. One ball to come in the fourth. Trying to think of the West Indians name in question. A little nuggety, sort of lower middle order batsman. Bowled a little as well. Oh, Suya Kumar Yadav, just the whip. That's almost a trademark for him, isn't it? Just flicks it around the corner. Very little effort. 6 runs, though. So, yeah, anyway, we were down at, it was the sort of the prelim pool games, the qualifiers into the T20 World Cup back in 2022 in October. And was down there, and Odin Smith was the man I was trying to think of. Chatting to him at one point, and he was just bemoaning the fact that it was a summer sport being played, yes, admittedly in early summer, but it was 11 degrees at night in Hobart, which, as you can imagine, the West Indians did not exactly flourish in the cold. Yeah, I think that night they lost to Scotland. Scotland posted about 160, and they fell about 40 runs short. Anyway, it was quite an interesting one. It wasn't exactly, I mean, if it had been England there instead of West Indies, they would have been enjoying the balminess. It's a very relative word, summer, isn't it? You're just like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, look, it's the opposite. You spend time in Darwin, and you get to the point you come out one morning in the middle of the dry season, and it's a bit fresh, and you look down and it's 6 a.m. and it's 16 degrees, and that's a bit fresh. Hits 15 overnight. News. As Suya Kumar Yadav gets a little single. I really just want to ask the average cricket fan what they're actually taking from the Fox Ray. Just a whole lot of numbers and colours. Abbott. Oh, Gill's got after him, just flicked it around the corner. Over fine leg. 6 runs. Easy as you like. He thought, see how Kumar can do it. I'll have a crack at this myself. He goes a little flatter. He's 2. That must have been I didn't run the single on that last one that I had. So he's 13 off. He's 2. Yeah. 13 off 4 balls. That's a good start to your innings. Push that around the corner. There'll be 2 there if they want it. Easy 2 in the end. He hasn't really looked like he's been too super aggressive when you look at it. A couple of sixes he's hit have been flicks, and he's striking at 300. And they've brought up their 50. Yeah, it's going to really force the hand of the Aussies, isn't it, when you have a look at what their bowling options are going to be. Oh, a bit full under the legs, and that'll be another 2 runs. If it's cut off, it is cut off. Well done out there. Good dive in the outfield and good support to keep it to 2. Yadav's just scoring at will. Yeah, there's going to have to be some soul searching. Yeah, looking at this might be a no ball. Yeah, stop that one. I think I might be slightly ahead of you on this. Yeah. No ball as well, so just add some salt into the wound. 2 balls to come in the over. He's not having a good day, Sean Abbott. 2 balls to come in his second over, and he's already gone for 29. What does Yadav do with this? He has put that into orbit. It's a matter of where it comes down. Nowhere near a fielder. A very aerial 1. He's putting on a show. Is the captain for India? Last ball of the over, and Abbott will be wanting to get out of here. Just prod it out onto the leg side. They'll take a single. Yadav will maintain the strike. He moves on to 19 from 8. Team total 55. 5 overs gone. They're going at 11 and over in the power play despite the early wicket. Yadav's absolutely... It's an excellent start for India. Yeah, it's just, as you say, it's just capitalising, taking your chances when they present. The same point, Australia 2 for 35, so India already 20 runs in front. And a wicket in hand. Ellis comes in. Pushed around the corner, fine. Fielder going to get there. He does well. Kuhneman that has run that down. Keep it at 2. Yadav moves into the 20s. Ellis in again. Gill decides. It's Gill on strike. Where do we have that from the last over? No, because it was Gill facing the last ball, and that's where I went wrong. But Gill moves up to 15 with a boundary there. Tidy up that scoreboard. Just tuning in, make sure you hit subscribe down below, and I'll tell you what, there's a nice one. That's hit him in front, and he's been fired out. I think you'll try and review this. He might think he got some bat on it. It's basically hit him on the full on the toe. So they just like to build the anticipation. Just leave it. I'm just waiting for the day one of them just does it, oversteps it a little bit, and it's an absolute howler, and they're they're sort of sitting there debating it, and then as they walk off, they show the replay, and it's tailing down a stump and a half outside leg because they took too long, and an umpire actually holds their ground on it. Here we go. Definitely no bat. It's him low there, as you said. It's struck in line with probably the inside of leg. Does it swing enough to save him? Clearly no bat involved. Yeah, smashing into the middle of leg. Review gone. Gill gone. He departs for 15 from 12. Australia get their second wicket. Nathan Ellis gets his second wicket, and he's doing the heavy lifting at the moment. The blonde tear away. Yeah, it was a whirlwind partnership when you have a look at it. 28 from 11 balls. So a good breakthrough to get late in the power play. 2 for 61 after 5.3. Certainly well on top of the run rate. Required run rate just over 8.5 now. I haven't really seen a lot of Varma yet. He got out early. Didn't see him in the first game, and then he got out early on Friday night. Again, really highly rated. I think he's about number 3 in the world T20 batting rankings at the moment. Carves this one out just past the man at point. He'll get a single, gets himself off the mark to close out. Oh, it doesn't close out. I'm getting ahead of myself. Just wishful thinking. Close out a power play of 62. It's still not a great one. 2 balls to come. Problem is he's brought Yadav back on strike. And he comes in, slower ball. Yadav just prods it out backward of point for a quick single. Ellis will have 1 to come to close out the power play. 1 legal, 1 to come, of course. Full ball in, driven. Not convincingly. Kind of came off the inside of the face of the bat. I'll take a single, though, to finish the power play. 2 for 64. And to be fair, I think India, we talked about it before, Pricey, have capitalised on the opportunities. Certainly are. Just trying to have a look what's happening here. Now they go to Kuhneman. What are we expecting from Kuhneman here, Price? Let's see what he can come with here. Varma just probably more confident against pace usually. I might have lost your audio going out just before, Nathan, but we're back now as Varma gets a single. Yeah, I've had you the whole time. It's just feeding out for some reason for the last couple of overs. So anyway, technology's wonderful. We're having a shocker of a night with it tonight, but that's okay. Well, Crick Info's got this as a toss of the coin right now. 50.33% versus 49.67. Which camp would you rather be in?
What about you?
Yeah, I'd rather be India, especially with Suyo Kumar in. I mean, you've got a guy who's set, and then you've got the third best batsman in the world on current T20 rankings in the last 12 months. So that seems to add up to me that you're in an okay position. You're in front of the game. You're going at 10 and over. You need 9 and over from here.
Yep.
Another single from Varma. Pokes it down to mid-on. Good over so far. One ball to come. They could be famous last words. 3 runs from the over so far. Now that I've said that, he'll probably smoke him for 6. In. He goes after him. It won't go for 6, but I don't think there's anyone out there, so that'll be 4. Kiss of death I have. It's not a bad over. 7 from it.
Still a good over. 7 from it. You would have taken that at the start of the over. So Happy with that score.
India 2 for 71 after 7. Still going at 10 and over. Again, at a similar point, Australia were 2 for 57, so gap's closed a little.
I think Australia accelerated through this period of the game. So I remember Tim David having a good little spell through here, hitting a lot of boundaries off the spin.
Yep.
So that comparison may close in the next little bit, depending on how India travel here.
Well, it was the 7th and 8th over. The 7th, we took 14. The 8th, they took 15. So we'll see how they go, but that's not a great start. Stoinis gets attacked by Varma. He goes aerial, mid-off's up, and 1, 2, and away for 4. Nice shot from Varma. Didn't take too much risk with mid-off up.
No, it's not a great delivery with mid-off up, slow ball, full outside off. It's a bit of a free swing of the bat through there, really.
So we've obviously got Stoinis here as the 4th bowling option. 5th bowling option, I should say. Is it just these 5 that we'll use, or do you think we'll see Owen as well?
I think we will see. I think we will see Owen, considering that Abbott's taken a bit of tap, and depending on how Koeman bowls, I think like Travis Head's obviously an option too for an over two if they feel that spin might be worth a gamble too, or Matt Short potentially too.
Yeah, a few options. Interesting when you look at the Indian bowling lineup that they used 6 bowlers but didn't use one of the bowlers they brought in Washington Sundar, and quite possibly with what Australia had, essentially 6 of their 8 or 7 of their 8 batters were right-handers. So you can sort of understand that once Travis Head fell early, that maybe not wanting to bowl Sundar with his leggies. Oh, there's a wicket. Stoin gets one. Suyo Kumar Yadav just spoons that softly out into the covers. He's disappointed, and you'll understand why.
Yeah, it looked like a slow ball from Stoinis on a length. Looked like he either didn't pick it or he's just held a lot more off the wicket than he thought, and he's just poked it straight to cover. Little bit of a soft way to get out, considering how well he played and the position of the game.
Not quite Tim David on the MCG soft, but just behind in second.
Yeah, man, that was soft. I still can't believe it.
If you're just tuning in, let us know where you're watching from, and make sure, of course, hit subscribe down below, and you can check out our social media at the Chris Mack Show on all your favourite social media channels. Tell you what, I just noticed, Pricey, we're talking about the whoops that we're both rocking. Tilak Varma's got the whoop on out there batting.
Oh yeah. Well, his heart rate probably just went up a little bit with the captain being dismissed. We'll check that on the stats later.
It's all about the data.
Mm.
If it's good enough for the 3rd best T20 international batsman in the world, it's good enough for me. Axar Patel coming into bat. Paddles it around the corner. First ball, he'll take a single. Tell you what, I do like watching along to the cricket now. They've got rid of the rule of, have they crossed over with the batsman and stuff. It just simplifies life for the average punter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Having played cricket for my whole life, it was never really anything I had to think about. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying. If the guy gets out, and it's pretty easy just for the new batter to go up there.
Just potted around the corner again, this time by Varma. Nice and fine. Fielder comes across Bartlett. We'll keep him to 2.
No,
No,
they
they'll get
came
back
back
for
for
a
three.
third. I think
Yeah.
the hardest thing for me sometimes with that stuff is the fact that depending on what the camera's focused on, you've got no idea at home until the next delivery comes in, and then if the score operator's not right, then it's confusion.
Yeah.
So let's compare the pair here. Fox has got India 59%. Cricinfo's got Australia 54%. I'll bet either side with both their books and take the profits. Thanks for coming.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's definitely closer than what it was at the start of the over. Big wicket for Yadav, 3 for 82 off 8.
It certainly is. It's 12 off 9 now. Varma's starting to get moving. What's that mean? We're down to a 10 run difference. Problem was the next over for Australia was 2 wickets and 3 runs.
You're right.
You talked about it before, and here he is, Matt Short. Comes on to bowl, another one of the options for the Aussies.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely better than a part-time bowler. He's definitely a viable option here, and I think they must have been happy with the way that Koonman bowled his couple, and they thought that spin looked like a good matchup at the moment, so they gave Shaw to go.
Not sure that's what they're looking for first ball, though.
Bye.
3 wides. Still no play in the Women's World Cup final. Although talk that they'll be on for a 4:32 toss for a 5 p.m. start. Which, to put things in perspective, means that they'll kick off at about 10:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, which is 2 hours delayed.
Mm-hmm. Shortened fixture, I presume.
Sorry?
Less overs, I assume.
Not sure. Not sure on that. There hasn't been anything clear there. No, if they can't start at 5 p.m., overs will start getting reduced from there.
Yeah, sure.
Still seems wild. 5 p.m. That's what, 1 a.m. finish.
8.
About 8 hours.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. I'll wake up and read about it tomorrow. Probably watch the end of it.
I was going to say this rate. If they don't start at 10:30, I'll be up just in time to watch the end of it if it goes the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Based on India's chasing, if they bat second, nothing's out of reach. One ball to come. Not a bad over so far from Short outside of some wides to start. He's tightened things up. I probably shouldn't have said that because he'll probably get smacked here. Did it before and I've done it again. Tilak Varma absolutely bombs that. 9 rows back into the punters on the hill. Someone's claimed to catch. Well done, son. 3 3 for 95. They go past halfway to the total. And over in advance of what they need. So in control, India, I think it's fair to say, but not dominant. It's fallen a little bit too straight. I think that tells you what, just looking at the vision around Bellerive, there's not a light on in a house. Everyone's in bed. It's 10 o'clock at night. Bartlett back. That is almost well fielded. Parries it down. The support fielder couldn't come around and cut it off in time. Mitch Owen, I think, was the fielder diving. And Patel will take 4 runs from that to start the Bartlett over.
Makes a huge difference, the back-to-back boundaries, doesn't it? 6 off the last, 4 the last over, 4 off the first ball of this one, and all of a sudden their score just jumps forward.
Yeah, that certainly makes a big difference. That's the thing too, you get back-to-back boundaries and all of a sudden you can just settle into some singles and twos and wait for a bad ball again at this point. That's exactly what they do on the next one, just dabs out towards deep third.
It's a pretty big over this too, because one of the strike bowlers has come back for their third over and they're only 10 overs in. One must think that Mitch Marsh is hoping to try and break through with a wicket with one of their strike bowlers here to try and get them back in the game.
Might have to bowl himself at this rate. Been a while since
Has
we've
he
seen
ever
him.
bowled? Has he ever bowled himself as captain? He hates bowling.
Must be tough to be able to bowl like he can and hate bowling. Real first world problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
And certainly the more frequent than less frequent, the captains under bowling themselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Axar Patel's doing himself well here. Another 2 runs, just pushing it around the corner. He's playing smart cricket here, India. Tilak Varma averages 51.7 in T20 cricket.
Yeah, right. That's nuts.
I mean, only 35 matches. I'll have
That's
to
a
be.
lot of matches to average that high.
It is. Needs 17 more runs to bring up 1,000 runs in T20 cricket, which I'd have to think that means he's carried a lot of red ink. Patel gets another single down the ground.
Sounds like it. So what would that be? That's like 30, just over 30 runs per innings per se. So he must have got not out.
Cricket info will tell us the details. Let's have a look here. T20 internationals, 31 innings, 12 not outs. High score of 120 not out, 2 centuries already, 4 50s. So he's got to 50 or above 6 times in those innings, but averages 51.
Yeah, right.
I suppose, though, if you're batting at 4 in this batting lineup behind Abhishek Sharma, Suryakumar Yadav and Shubman Gill, plenty of chances you come in about 10 or 11 overs down and only have to face, 20 odd balls.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're chasing like they are today, I mean, not that the job's done, but I mean, they need 8 and 0 from you. It's not. It doesn't have to go a bull of the gate to try to chase down. So he can probably work his way through the innings and look to take India home with minimal risk, really.
Dawood Malan, 24 matches and 24 innings to get to 1,000. T20 international runs is the fastest.
24 matches and 24 innings.
Yeah, well, 24 innings it took him to get there. Devon Conway's on the list as well, as is Babar Azam, both with 26 innings. Virat Kohli, 27 innings. Aaron Finch, 29. Kale Rahul, 29. Suyakuma Yadav, 31. Kevin Peterson, 32. So if he can get another, what did we say? With a single off the first ball here, he only needs another 15 runs. He's in some pretty elite company.
Mm.
And players that have done it in 31 and under. $81 required on 59 balls. So just over 8 and over. Koonman into Patel. Slow, full ball. Sweeps it. Easily taken out on the boundary and deep square leg. Tournament to Farmer. Just drives it. Bump ball back to the bowler. We had one of the Aussies bring up 2,000 on Friday night. Might have even been. I'll pull that back up as to who it was. Pretty handy to have milestones in back-to-back games as Varma takes another single.
Mm. I think didn't David have some kind of milestone tonight too? Was it 1,000 runs or 2,000 or something?
I think it was Mitch Marsh that brought up his 2,000 runs the other night, early in his innings, because he's on 2,053 now. So I think when he's in the teens. Actually, would have been less than the teens. It would have been, no, sorry, more than the teens. It would have been midway through because he obviously batted again tonight to get to that total of 2053. Patel gets 2. Good running from Varma. It's quick between the wickets.
Mm.
A little extra runs getting through make a big difference. Last ball of the 11th over. Koonman into Patel. Drives that out through the covers, finds the man out in the rope in Stones. He'll take a single, he'll keep the strike. He's 17 off 11. Varma 24 off 18. So the good news for someone like Axar Patel when you get elevated up the order and get to actually bat a little bit like this is his average has gone from 16 when he came into bat to almost 20.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been good so far, hasn't he? He's kind of just chipping around and yeah, he's kind of made it look quite straightforward, hasn't he?
A better clip than Rana the other night, but not dissimilar to just, just taking, he just seems to be playing things on their merits. He's not trying to overhit too much. He knows he's not the main show here, but he just needs to bat through to, help Varma do the big work, right?
That's it. Yeah. Oh, that was another fast bouncer. And out.
Just after we've given him a wrap, that seems about right for the course. That's a good catch. Bartlett getting forward. I'm sure they'll review that. Not a bad knock. Here goes those averages I was talking about. I'll drop it back down.
You got 17, so it still went up, I suppose.
barest of margins. Yeah, they'll have the review. Over the chat. Looks like the umpires. The umpires got the whoops on too. Everyone's wearing whoops. This is not an advertisement.
But I'm sure they're good people, and if they want to support, we'll be open to it.
Yeah, look, every commercial deal's open. We'll just change the wording of what we say. We'll just change instead of this is not an advertisement to this is an advertisement. He's taking that easily,
Yeah.
Bartlett. Nathan Ellis has got something on his wrist too. I don't know if that's on the left wrist. Is that a whoop as well? It's a little bit different.
Whoever it is, I'm sure they're good people too. If they want to sponsor, they're welcome.
Yeah, look, merchandise, cash, fast cars, holiday apartments. We'll take anything.
Yeah.
Nathan will even take a free cricket bat to play Masters with. Or are you still under contract?
Actually.
Sorry.
No, I'm not. But I'm not using the bat I used last year. That one's been retired as well.
Yeah, it must have been any good. Washington Sundar gets his first involvement in the game.
Yeah, when he said he played and he didn't get a bowl in front of that a gold Abhishek Sharma instead, yeah, interesting choice. But here he is batting six. So
I did
yeah,
say when he came in, he does add a little bit to the sort of I'm not sure if you call him a genuine all rounder, but he knows which end of the bat to hold, sort of thing, and can have a swing.
Well, he's got a test 100, so I mean, he's definitely all round.
Yeah, I was going to say we've seen that. And there you go. That exactly what I'm talking about. That's what he does. Bang.
Yeah. Well, Ellis thought a couple of fast bounces have worked tonight already. Why not try again? And bang, second ball, he's just pumped it over the square leg for six.
Washington Sundar's put it over the dugouts. Yeah. Oh. It's the first time tonight that the commentator's curse hasn't bitten someone. So, Washington Sundar, you're welcome. Normally it's been the bowlers that I've been rapping them about how well they're going, and then they get punished. But now that I've said that, this will be a dot ball from Ellis, and he comes, prods it out, and exactly that. Just pops it to the man there in the gully. India needs 70 runs from 50 balls. See at the rate they're going, they might be half a chance of finishing this just in time for the women's game to kick off. Good to the weather to do all the Indian cricket fans a favour. It's a long night. Sundar plods it down the ground.
I'm sure they'll love every minute of it.
What was that?
I'm sure they'd love every minute of it.
Look, if it was Australia, I probably would too, but I've also got to work tomorrow, so that, that does impact that. So this game would have started at about, 1:45 in the afternoon, and if the other one goes the distance, it'll be 1 a.m. So, that's a good day. 12 hours straight of cricket, basically. And you can get to bed. Of course, it's Sunday over there, so. Works well for everyone. A couple of hours sleep before you head off to work on Monday.
That's it.
Koeman in again to Varma. Lofted. It was almost a forward cut that just bounced up. Well, he was shaping to cut it and then just decided to push through it a little more.
He was lucky to get away with that. He nearly hit it too long off. His long off made good ground and wasn't too far away.
So Kuhneman will probably be pretty happy with that if he's forcing those sorts of shots. He's getting good bounce. Sundar gets a bit of air on that one. Again, finds a man out in the deep. This time Bartlett takes it in. Just the single. The run rate just slowly creeping back up. Even with that 6 last over, they only took 8 from it with the wicket. The run rate up to 8.8. Kuhneman now. Well, that's a quicker ball. Darts that one in. Barmer can't get away. That's a nice delivery. Good variety, Kuhneman, with his pace.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong suit. Changes the pace, subtle variation out of the fingers and the speed through the air.
Oh, a little pop scoop. Oh, Inglis couldn't quite get there. He tried to rip the gloves off. Was far from textbook from Varma, but he'll get away with it. That's twice this over that he's probably been less than ideal in some shot selection. I don't know whether he's premeditating on what's happening here, but we know that he prefers the pace bowlers, but he seems to be really battling with Kuhneman at the moment. Sundar's not. He's just going to hit that straight back over his head. 2 bounces, 3 bounces, 4 runs. Yeah, Washington Sundar's got somewhere to be tonight. He wants to go and watch the girls play. Within 60 of Australia's score now.
Yeah, just kind of sat up for him. He was able to whack it back over his head. It's a good shot. Placed it well.
Last ball of the over. Has a little prod at that outside. A fish misses it all, and Inglis shapes to keep him on his toes with a faux stumping. 4 for 126 at the end of the 13th. 61 from 42, 8.7 and over they need. At the same time, Australia were 5 for 118. So realistically, not that distant now. But the challenge for Australia is, or for India, is that Australia had 4 double digits overs on the run home, which means a lot's going to fall on the shoulders of Varma here, because once you get past Washington Sundar in this batting card, there's a continued run of what you would probably best reference as all-rounders, with Dubé next. And then they've got a bit of a tail with Arshdeep Singh, Chakravarti and Bumrah. And obviously the keeper in Jitesh Sharma as well, who averages 14 in T20 internationals. So a wicket here could
It's
be...
kind of interesting part of the game, isn't it? Like, because a couple of good overs here either way makes the last 5 overs completely different picture. If India are able to get away, get another Sean Abbott over away here, can really take them forward in the game. But if Australia can grab a wicket or have a couple of good overs of 10 to 12 off the 2, it's really turns that momentum on its head here.
Certainly does. Another single, short of a length on the stumps. Just Sundar just playing that down the ground. Likes to play straight. He seems more comfortable straight on the leg side. Doesn't look like he's going to take him on the offside so far. Abbott will be happy with this so far. Just 2 singles to start. He comes in again to Varma. Tries to slice it out to point, but there's a man sweeping the boundary. He picks it up. It's a slower ball outside off, and he just slapped it out there. Moves on to 29. Total to 129. India need 58 from 39. That'll help. Slow ball dug into the pitch, and Sundar just pops it out into cow corner. It'll trickle away in front of the advancing fielder for 4 runs. I'm not sure that was the delivery. I'm not sure what he thought he was going to achieve with that, with only one sweeper out there on that offside.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a...
Take that back. It was cover, not cow corner. Sorry, I was thinking the right-hander. That's a left-hander.
It's either poorly executed or he's just completely hasn't got the plan right. It wasn't an overly difficult shot to get away. There's lots of space back there. Looks like he's falling back over the wicket now.
It was a good start this over, but that's, yeah, Sundar's just got hold of him here. He straightens up too much, short of a length. He just puts that on the top of the dugouts. He's nearly taking out the Australian support staff. Unfortunately, when we needed Sean Abbott to step up tonight, take a leading role, that has not happened.
No, it hasn't. And sometimes you think you target plays like this, but he really just bowled a lot of balls that boundary balls, unfortunately.
Oh, and he's done it again. Fallen apart.
Catching the crowd.
Just in the slot. Sundar's just gone even bigger. He's having a field day, is Washington. Don't worry about bowling me. I'll just hit balls out of the ground for fun. He is 29 off 11.
Yeah. As I was saying at the start of that over, kind of a big over in the context of the match, and now India only need 42 off 36 balls, and the context of the game is completely changed now. A couple of big sixes over the leg side. Yeah, it's
Sean Abbott's got a half century.
Off 3 overs, yeah.
3 overs. What price was Washington Sundar for Hobart?
What, right now or at the start?
No, the start before the game.
Oh, probably 11. I don't know.
Would have been more than that. For India Hobart, I reckon they would have expected him to bat 7 or 8. I reckon they probably would have expected him to bat 7. Setting the odds. He's probably, especially with their upper batting lineup, even with the other night, you probably get 19 to 21 minimum about him. If someone's asleep at the wheel a little bit early in the piece when they're setting before they name their 11, you might have actually got 40s about him, 34.
So who yeah, right. Oh well.
The guy's got 222 runs with a high score of 50 in T20 internationals. Like, similarly, had an average of he's got an average of 15.8 currently.
You're right.
Bartlett back in, they're having to bowl him out now. That's what these things do. They're not going to have anyone left to bowl death overs at this rate. Varma just plays it to the fielder. Dot ball. He's 29 off 25. Looks pedestrian compared to Sundar's 29 off 11.
I mean, it's all luck and timing at some points, isn't it? Like if he gets those 2 drag downs, he probably puts him in the crowd as well. That's a different story.
Yep. That's exactly how it works. India down to 7 and over from here. Is the Fox win predictor? Well, that helps.
I was going to say, what's the Fox win?
Don't worry about the Fox win now. It's like Varma's tried to ramp shot, and he's ramp shotted it back to Josh Inglis. Bartlett just took a bit of pace off that, it looked like, and he just didn't have enough to get anywhere with it. And so Varma disappears. That could be interesting for the scheme of things.
Yeah, it should be. Again, those last 3 balls that previous over completely changed the context. Without those 3 boundaries, this would be a real tense moment. But still needing 7 and over from here, you'd like to think that India will get it done, but they've just wobbled a touch. See how they go from here.
That's what I mean. Those 2 sixes, even if you allow the 4 and then just a couple of dots in that over, or even, just 2 singles to finish, that's another 10 runs they need here. That's 52 all of a sudden off 5.4.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we're getting up to 10 and over territory instead of 7 and over territory, which takes a lot of pressure off Sundar. But Jitesh Sharma now comes in. I made him out to sound like a bunny. That doesn't look like a bunny to me.
That was a proper shot, that.
It's a nice cricket shot, isn't it? That's a beautiful test match cover drive, that is.
Yeah, well,
Purists will enjoy it.
he's got the the soft ball from the quick, and he's just stepped across his crease, driven it on the up touch through the gap, 4 runs.
Sharma 32. He's only played 9 T20s. Hasn't played a lot of high level cricket really when you have a look at it, although he has played 141 T20s. His average is 27 in T20 competitions, including averaging 25 in the IPL. So interesting they're batting him below Sundar.
Is he strike rate?
Strike rate. Let me come back to that. Striking at 157.
Yeah, numbers are good.
Only have a 150 to his name though, so I'm guessing he's batted like standard
Probably
traditional
batted
keeper
7,
batting,
8.
sort of 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Glenn Maxwell there. I wonder whether we'll see him in the 4th or 5th games. Must be getting close. He's only available for 3, 4, and 5. And oh wow, it's a wide. It's a rank full toss. Now it's down to under 7 and over with that wide. 36 from 31. Sharma just pushes it out for a single again. Looking nice and composed. Need to get through this pair and then maybe get into Dubé, but even Dubé will be decent enough. Just can't see outside of someone ripping through and taking 3 or 4 wickets here. I can't see India getting done. Cricinfo's got it at 87% chance India. Don't know that I'd even take, what's that, 13% the other way? That's what, that's $7. I don't think I'd take $7 about Australia right now. Well, you'd have juice, so it'd be $6.50. Especially knowing this is Bartlett's final over. Push down the ground for a single. That'll be the end of Bartlett. He'll have 1 for 30 from his 4 overs. Sundar moves to 30. India 5 for 152 at the end of 15. Again, Australia were 5 for 130 at this point. This is where they put the accelerator down. 13, 13, 14, and 16, 17, and 18. So those last couple of slow overs did hurt a little.
Oh, India are way in front of the game then, aren't they? Only needing 7s or whatever they need.
Oh, they're literally 20 wickets are the same, so they're 21 runs in front.
Yeah.
Massive over here from Nathan Ellis. He needs wickets. Dot balls probably aren't going to be enough at the moment, considering the required run rate 7.2. There's a dot ball though, slower ball. Just takes the pace off. I have a feeling that Washington Sundar is not going to die wondering here. He doesn't strike me as a patient man.
Yeah, it's probably a bit hard. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's a bit smarter than that. See?
Well, it's very wide. It probably would have been a wide if he'd let it go. Just pushes it out. Really had to reach for it, but he'll get 2. Of course, if you're tuning in for the first time, I'd love it if you hit subscribe down below. You can also hit the bell notification so you get notifications when we're jumping on with any of our live watch along or other videos going forward. We'll have our 100th daily dose dropping tomorrow. Looking forward to that. That'll be recapping the women's one-day World Cup final, which will be getting underway imminently, according to my last update. I'll actually have a look at that and see what that looks like. Sundar gets another single. They move to 5 for 155. They're within 32 now of their target, with 4.5 overs remaining. Now the match has been delayed by a wet outfield. National anthems are done. Looks like they're about to get underway. Ellis follows the batter as Jitesh retreats towards the leg side. Top ball there. This is a good over from Ellis, but as I said, he could really do with a breakthrough. He comes in again. And of course, as I've said that, he gets carved with a little flick. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 4 runs over a very fine leg. And you just think about this game. If Sean Abbott even if Sean Abbott had gone at 10 and over, the difference of this game now being 48 off 25 balls and what Nathan Ellis has to work with.
Yeah.
Hindsight and, revisionist history is a wonderful thing. Some nice batting, though, from Sharma. Just decided to really preemptively move across his crease as soon as Ellis released and got outside the wide marker on the offside and paddled it over the leg side. Now he backs away to the leg side and still ends up pushing it out into the leg side field for a single. Short comes in and fields it at mid-on. Brings up 160. Close the over. 8 runs from it. Not a bad over from Ellis, but Australia needs some minor miracles at the moment. Ellis bowled out as well. 3 for 36. A pretty good spell. Just he and Bartlett probably haven't had the assistance they've needed, I would suggest.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. And even there with Ellis, you could tell how hard he was trying. He really wanted to get that wicket to bring him back in the game. I thought he might have wanted to use a slow ball in that over to Tesh to see whether he could beat him with pace and draw a false stroke, but he's gone pace on, and that helped him rant the ball over the keeper for a boundary and get him out of the over there. Another big over here from Kuhneman.
So they're going to bowl Kuhneman out too, which means that then final 3 overs are going to probably come from 2 from Stoinis, and is it going to be 1 from Short, or maybe they throw Owen in? Surely they're not going to bowl another Abbott over. I mean, it might be over by then at this point. They need 2 there, then they need 25 from 23.
Oh, capture it.
On Sky, top edge from Jitesh. It's not going to make the field. An awkward bounce for him too. Will be pulled back just inside the rope. Not exactly a great display all in all there. Wasn't a great batting shot. Managed to get away with it. Ellis looked like he was doing some Keystone Cop stuff. So Jitesh moves to 14. Koonman in again. Tesh cuts at this, out into the covers. Picked up in the deep. Must be a single. He moves on to 15 from 9 balls. India on to 5 for 165. They need 22 from 21 balls. Call it a runner ball for round numbers. Now Koonman in, Washington Sundar. Floats it up. He gets it on the full. This is going to be close. Leaping. Stoinis couldn't get there. Couldn't even get a fingertip on it. He did his absolute best. Another 6 to Washington Sundar. That's his 4th 6 of the innings. He's certainly got some power. He's 39 off 16 balls, and India are rapidly advancing on levelling the series, Pricey.
They certainly are, and yeah, I just saw a highlight. Stoinis just dropped that over the boundary. It was a tough chance. Got 2 hands on it. Tried to chuck it back in, but it's just gone through. And that takes them needing less than a run a ball now. And yeah, they're kind of walking to what is it? Looking like an excellent victory.
Top ball. Yeah, to be fair, I think even really calling it a chance, even for an athlete like Marcus Stoinis, is probably would have been it would have been more miraculous than what Australia needs to win. Probably fitting.
You get hands on it, it's a chance.
Get hands on it when you're 45 degrees going over the boundary, trying not to find your teeth on the fence. Another dot ball to finish the over. Koonman finishes none for 31 again. Realistically, there's outside of the looseness of Sean Abbott, there isn't that much in between this. It's really just, and look, it's not taking a drive by on him really. He just hasn't been his night. He hasn't really just hit his mark at all.
No, that could happen. I mean, it happens all the time in T20 cricket. It doesn't take a lot in order for pressure to build on you. And as a bowler, once you get hit for a couple of boundaries early on, it can be hard to stick to a plan or to then go back to a plan to be able to come back and bowl well. And unfortunately tonight hasn't been his night, and yeah, it's really put India in front of the game. And 3 overs left, 16 needed. Should be pretty straightforward from here.
That said, as we saw with the Aussies early in their batting innings, you've still got to be good enough to deal with the loose balls, and a number of these batsmen, most notably Washington Sundar, have been. Stoinis into Jitesh. He's got under that. Surely there's a fielder there. Oh dear, that just sums it up. Mitch Owen, he got 2 hands to it. I don't know whether he lost it in the lights, but that's a drop. Not that it probably matters at this point.
Can't do much about that. Hit in the middle of the hand. Can't do much more than that.
That just sums up Australia's night. Sometimes it is not your night, and that time it wasn't. So Jitesh gets a lifeline. Ran a bit of train spotting here. Live statistics. Washington Sundar and Jitesh Sharma both averaging 16.57. Absolutely useless for any other reason, but it'll only last until the next ball, which, then all of a sudden Washington will take the lead.
For all those on the spectrum out there who just love that.
Washington Sundar's half a chance of getting his high score if he can manage a bit of the strike here. He's hit 4 runs there. That gets into 43. Straight back down the ground. He just needs to hit pretty much all the runs from here. He needs 8 runs to get his highest ever score. India need 11.
It's been a quality innings, really. Like, he's come out and just struck a ball cleanly from the get-go. Boundaries have been coming at will. I mean, he's got a couple of some drag downs and a couple of loose balls, but you still got to be good enough to put them away, and he's been plenty good enough to do that.
Certainly has. It'd be probably fitting for him. Oh, he smoked that back. Stoinis tried to get a hand to it, but that'll be 2 runs. It'll be cut off. Short gets around. That takes into 45 from 20. Like, he hasn't been super risky either, right? Like, he's taken to the bad balls. Now look at this one. It's probably as risky as anything he's done, but that would have been an absolute snare to take that at the rate it was coming back at Stoinis. But he's striking at 220. So paddles this one down into the mid-wicket region. Goes to 46. Well within a strike of his highest ever score. Eight required, 14 balls to come. Stoinis into Jitesh Sharma. Take a single. Moves on to 17 from 11. India get to 180. And looking at the rate India have gone at, we said it looks like on these decks here that 200 is probably the par score.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. I mean, if India batted first and they're the same score, they'd be looking for that 200, 205 mark. So it's, that was what you were saying before about the West Indies Australia game last time, or a couple of years back. That looks like the money.
Sundar goes after this one. Doesn't get enough to get a 4. They'll come back for 2, will they? He's probably not thinking about his high score, to be fair. He's probably just thinking about trying to get the win. And at the end of the 18th over, they need 5 to win. And Sundar has been really handy for them. I kind of raised an eyebrow when he came in a little bit elevated, if you will.
Yeah, he's been
And
superb.
this is
just
a bold strategy, Cotton.
Bringing Abbott on.
Yeah.
Maybe they're happy to leave.
should do the right thing here and just try and get a single. Don't hit him out of the park.
I was going to say, mate, a short ball from Abbott into the crowd, shake hands and be done with it.
I don't know. There we go. Nice little single. Give Washington a chance to bring up his 50. Well done, Jitesh. There's a rank full toss too, to be fair.
That was a pie too. Wow.
He's a team player, Jitesh Sharma. Just hope nothing ironic happens.
Like what?
Sundar getting out.
I'll just delay the pain at this point.
Yeah. Delay yours at my bedtime.
Yes.
Oh, Sundar gets a single. Come on. Come on, guys. Those playing at home, India's women are batting first in the Women's World Cup. Mandana and Shafali Verma. And none for 9 off 2.4 overs. Three runs required, 10 balls. Washington Sundar's on 49. And that's where he's going to stay. Poor Washington, 1 run short of his high score. Both these two have boosted their averages with good knocks to bring it home. Sharma takes Abbott on, overcovers, races away. Marsh can't track it down. 4 runs for Sharma. He finishes on 22. Sundar not out on 49. Probably deserved a 50 for his efforts. And Cricket Info now says India 100% chance to win, Nathan.
Yeah, well, normally when you score more runs than the opposition, you're a good chance of winning.
The game's already over. Well done. Thank you, guys. That does level it up 1-1. India win by 5 wickets. We'll run through the Indian card. Plenty of starts. Sharma, Abhishek Sharma, that is 25. Shubman Gill 15. Surya Kumar Yadav, the captain, 24. Tilak Varma 29. Axar Patel 17. Washington Sundar 49, not out from 23 deliveries. Managed to clear the fence 4 times, Sundar, which is excellent. And Jitesh Sharma coming in at number 7, 22 off 13. The pick of the bowlers for Australia, probably Nathan Ellis, 3 for 36 from his 4 overs. Kuhnemann nice and tight, none for 31, as was Xavier Bartlett, 1 for 30. We had Matthew Short went for 13 off his 1 over. Stoinis 1 for 22 from his 2. And Sean Abbott, the most expensive, going at 16 and over, none for 56 off his 3.3. Pricey, who gets your player of the match? Does it go to Arshdeep Singh? Does it go to Washington Sundar steering at home? I'll give you my logic first. I'll go with Sundar just because Arshdeep Singh's there. That's his primary role, is to get wickets. Sundar's role that he would have been coming in expecting was to bowl some middle over spin. Instead, he gets called on to come in at number 6 when, look, they had their hand on it, but it wasn't, to be clear, the win, that is. But, you know, he's gone and stepped up into a role there and performed above what was expected, striking at 200 and a bit. If he comes out and pokes around slowly early on, again, it's not like this got done with 6 overs to spare. So I'm going to give it to Sundar on my side. I don't know where you land on it.
Yeah, I was just reflecting then. I feel like India were better with the bat than Australia across the board. I mean, there was 2 standout innings for Australia, and across the board, really, like Indian players batted really well. There's scores across the park, but yeah, Sundar's innings, he came in at somewhat of a tricky time in the game where, if he comes in and the game stalls, then India are in a bit of trouble. But he was able to come out, strike the ball clean from the start, find the boundary, move the game forward, and in the end, took India to a pretty clinical win. So yeah, I tend to agree with your logic.
Yeah, and when you look, as you said, the Aussies, 3 of our top 5 single digits. Starting to read like an English one-day card in New Zealand at the moment. So, yeah, not ideal, as opposed to everyone for India contributed, which is a big flip around from game 2. It sets it up really nicely for game 4. I just hope we don't end up with a tied series after game 5, but we'll wait and see. We've got a few days till game 4. It'll be interesting to see what Australia does. Obviously, some bowling things to address. I think the batters, it was just one of those nights for them. A couple of mistakes in the field as well. So, a big thank you to you, mate. A big thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit subscribe down below. Hit the like button as well, and we look forward to seeing you again for another one of our watch-alongs on Thursday night. We might have some NBL on Wednesday night as well. We'll see how the schedule aligns. And, of course, our daily doses will be continuing to drop, and the best way to find those is to subscribe and hit the bell notification. You can also keep up to date with everything in between those episodes on all your social media platforms. You can find us TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X at The Chris Mack Show. But thank you, Pricey.
No worries. That was fun. Thanks for that.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to your home of the Black and White Sport. No grey opinions here. We'll see you again very, very soon.